Hey guys, Ken here. Just wanted to show you my latest toy. You remember Anomaly Drones? Well, these guys continue to crank out new machines. This is the 5-inch Stryder, and the last one I built and flew was the 6-inch Stryder. And this is very similar. It looks the same, but it's actually an all-new design. And by all new, I mean it has all new parts. The bottom frame, top frame, and side plates and everything are all new parts. And even the 3D printed part that holds all the ProSight components is new. This is a stretched X design. I don't know if you can quite tell from this view, but this is a stretched X. And you know, stretched X is designed to provide a little more stability in fast forward flight on the pitch axis. And most people say it does help. It may not be the best asset for freestyle, but it all depends on your flying style. I actually like it. It flies really well. I like the fact that when I can get really close and low to the ground, and it's very stable in pitch, but roll is really snappy. I don't know if that's just an indication of the fact that it's longer in this axis and that therefore it takes more of a moment to move it. It might just be that an adjustment of rates in Betaflight or KISS or whatever you're using would make it fly just like any other copter, but it's kind of cool the way the geometry works for you that way. It's sort of a mechanical solution to that problem. Now these machines are all 5mm bottom plates of 3K carbon. The top plate is 3mm, and it has the carbon reinforcement struts on both sides. And if you compare this to the 6-inch one, you will see that this is a little bit leaned forward further. The flight controller has been moved forward a little bit, and the ProSight transmitter position has been adjusted so that everything can be squeezed down into a very low profile design. And if you look in here, you can see the ProSight antenna connector sitting right there above the flight controller. It's very close. But the very cool thing here, which I'm sure you've already noticed, is that I'm using a 4-in-1 ESC. So only a 30mm standoff here, and I can fit an ESC and a flight controller in there. And with the ProSight system, you know, that's all you need. So in my case, I used a 35 amp BL Heli S Lumenier 4-in-1 ESC. I used 3mm standoffs under the ESC and 5mm standoffs between the flight controller and the ESC. And I was just trying to keep things as low as I possibly could. On the right side here, those connectors are pretty close right here. So you can get away with 4mm standoffs right here, but I prefer to use 5. Just to give those a little bit of clearance. I felt like they were touching and I didn't want to compress them or put stress on them during flight. So there is enough clearance with only the 30mm standoffs to get everything in there, and it ends up with a very, very compact design, as you can see. And in this version we have the stock ProSight antenna, and as I've said in my videos in the past, I do prefer to use the stock antenna. I know it's not as robust as the aftermarket solutions that are starting to show up and some of the other things that people are trying, but I still find it has the best reception. And with the type of freestyle that I like to do, I like to fly 500 meters away if I feel like it, and jump over a tree and fly back. You know, it's fun for me, so I like having as much range as possible. And this stock T antenna with these big patch elements, they seem to work really well. They're actually dipoles, but anyway, the mount that I'm using for the camera here is the 30 degree mount, but a 45 degree mount is also available. And also, getting back to the antenna really quick, there will be a version for the racing antenna for those who would like to try that. You guys can contact Anomaly Drones, and you can see the link for that in the description. And they will be happy to make you custom parts, which I think is one of the coolest things about this company. You can call them up or shoot them an email or contact them on the forums, and they're on RC groups and are also on Instagram. And they will entertain almost any idea that you want. I've made several suggestions to the owners of Anomaly Drones as to things that I think might improve these machines, and they've incorporated many of the things that I've suggested, which I think is really cool, and they do it super fast. Next thing you know, they've got new parts out and available on the online store for purchase. And they'll make accommodations for you. So give them a shout. You guys should really try out these machines. They fly really well and they're very crash worthy. I crashed my 6-inch machine into the concrete from about 50 feet up, and I fractured one of the arms a little bit, but not all the way through, and I was still flying on it. I mean, it was twitching around a little bit because it became a little bit more flexible, but these machines are really, really tough, and they protect the ProSight components really well. The camera's well protected by these extra carbon legs sticking out there, and the frame has little feet on it, which is nice, so when you land, you don't scrape the crap out of the carbon or your bolts. And just a really, really smart, well-designed machine, and really simple to build, even though it's really compact. And that's something that can't be said for every machine. So give this a try, guys. Look them up, anomaliydrones.com. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like if you would. Thanks.